Hi everyone, it's Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is Play Dead Live, the early days. That's right. We've been doing this for a long time, and I am super excited to be here with all of you guys tonight. This is a pretty special stream. We've done a lot of PvP. We've had some really good Friday nights. In fact, I've had people message me and say October, and more specifically, Crucible's Crematorium is the best they've ever seen. Now, I'm going to challenge that because I do think that the Crucible is the best that we've done. However, I was very nostalgic and I was reminiscing, and just right off the top of my head, come on, the Asylum, Crowley's Farms, Crypts and Catacombs, Jigsaw's Jungle, Crimson Cove, Burning Bay, Salisbury Island, Morgan Mears, Crossfire Cliffs, Graves of Craven, Cosmic Caverns, and Frigid Fields. And then we kicked over to this year, and don't forget, we did Return to the Asylum, Clone's Chamber, Circus of Dread, Steamlands, Passage of the God, Dunes of the Dead, Stoneland, Sarah City by his own, and that leads us to right here, right now, where we are, Crucible's Crematorium. I got a very special video. It is I think it's the best production that I've ever done. I'm going to ask you guys for your opinion. It is Crucible's Crematorium. I'm going to show you how good the design is, how good the sound and everything is, and then I'm going to take you back. Not just back to the Asylum. I'm going to take you way back before the Asylum. About 2 years ago, as a matter of fact, when we were playtesting. But before we do that, let me give a real quick shout out to Busy Bee. Happy birthday to the one, the only Busy Bee. She has been doing some work behind the scenes, and people like Busy, people like our mods, people like our committees, all of you guys playing, gearing up, changing the game is just phenomenal. So I could not do this without each and every one of you. And how about a super chat shout out to Valar? Hello, 99 Army, Kills, Great Minds, channel members, PDO players, sponsors, bundle, box lovers, Kills coins. This is the early days. I look at that. I see Deadly Dimes going, birthday packs for the birthday girl. Happy birthday, Busy. You know what? Kel, we might be able to round up a box for Busy Bee. You know what? I'm going to throw in. I'm feeling happy birthday to Busy Bee, and this is a very special stream. So, you know what, Kel? I'm going to throw in 20 for Busy Bee. Dimes just threw in 10. So how about happy birthday from Kills? There you go. We got a box event coming up Monday. We're going to make her cry. All right. Me and Dimes already got 30 of it covered right there. So hopefully that hey, there's a Cosmic Dracon out there. And you never know what Craven's liable to give you for that. If Busy Bee gets that dragon, Craven might give her like 10 legendaries for it. All right. You guys ready to see a little you guys can grade this. And look, I do Walking Dead streams. You guys might have heard. And I like to give 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to ask you guys, be objective. You won't hurt my feelings. I'm going to show you the brand new video. It's got a lot of clues, a lot of things that you guys have done, and it's probably got some things that you might see in the next couple of weeks. I see Kel, happy birthday, Busy Bee. I see Trigger, happy birthday, Busy Bee. Love you. Look at that. Father Ron, Busy Bee, happy birthday. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. Amy's going to throw it. There you go. Amy's like, I'll message Kel. I got you covered. So there's Amy throwing in 10. Look at that. That's the way we do. All right. We're going to get to more Busy Bee in a minute. Kel, keep those boxes rolling. If you guys are ready. Now, the only deal is about 2.5 minutes. So the only deal is, at the end of it, you guys have to give this a score, okay? If you guys are ready to see the brand new preview / it's a little bit of what you've done and a little bit of foreshadowing what might happen, give me a 999 if you guys want to see it. I think it's my best work, but if you guys don't think it is, I just want to know. And it's the last time we're going to talk about the future tonight, because then we're going back to the past. All right, here we go. I see Julia throwing in 20 for Busy Bee as well. Enjoy, pay close attention, because this has a lot of meaning to it. Here you go, the Crucible story.
So goodbye for us. You have to say it, baby. And nothing testicles. You wanna try, baby. I know you can. I know your heart, and you will figure out you love me now, now, now. Now, now, now. You know I gotta leave you. Love me now, now, now. Now, now, now. You know gotta leave. Figure out you love me now, now, now. Now, now, now. You know I gotta leave you. Love me now, now, now. Now, now, now. You know gotta leave.
All right, what do you guys think? The story of Crucible's Crematorium. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for some numbers here. I asked for it to be judged, so let's see what you guys think. I was super excited to get all of the there's more to it. You're gonna find out. Yeah, me too. I love it, Trigger. Busy Bee, thank you so much, Busy Bee. I see the assassin. That's kind of how we do it now, isn't it? I mean, we're used to these graphics and the zombie scenes and the things that you guys are fighting and the sound. So now, are you guys ready to go back to our early days? You guys ready to go back to where we started? Because that road right there is where we started. That dirt road is how it began. And we progressed down that road to a little bit of rain. You guys remember the rain, and it got muddy in a hurry. Now, that's really in a hurry. But yeah, we had a couple of our own get stuck in the mud, and in fact, almost everybody got stuck in the mud. That's right, Ron. You're swimming in the mud. It turned in a hurry. But you know what? The one thing about this group is you're very resilient. So you kept walking and you kept walking, and you got here. This nice, really, really bad pixelated house that we used. We just know that there was a shotgun and an arm hanging out that door. Turned out to be Hippo. And he was pretty welcoming, as far as I remember. He invited you guys in. But then after he invited you in, you guys ended up down this hallway. And the hallway got a little crazy. I mean, I remember you guys going down this hallway wondering, like, is there something over on the right room? Is there something ahead of us? What are we going to do? And luckily you did make it to the end, and you got to that elevator. So it was simple times. Not everything was a story and gear, and it was really about decision making and getting you guys kind of through something and navigating a lot of different people and a lot of different actions. And that was the first time we all got together and did Play Dead Live. I'm a little out of order here. It was. So I want to take you guys to the next week, but you know what? I did put together a little song. It was a little later on, but it had a few chapters in mind. And I don't know if you guys remember this. Do you guys remember the Fireman song? Every once in a while, before there were dance videos, there was basically me doing silly things and just kind of making up lyrics. So you guys are going to probably see a lot of things today that you don't remember. So turn up the volume, sit back and relax, because this is my very best Billie Eilish. I might get copyright flag because I got to be honest, I probably sound as good as she does. But this is the Fireman song. And it has, a little call out to Julia and also to Will. So enjoy.
All right, here we go. This is for the fireman, Will the Bill. White shirt, now black from all the smoke, a hammer. That room just did explode, it's burning. Time to stop, drop, and roll that building. Looks pitiful. Maybe he'll save 100 more. Throw his hammer down to the floor. Is Julia holding a wooden or a hippo? Please duck. So he's the fireman, never will retire, man. Burn his friends in fire, then won't even perspire, man. But he's the real type, bring the wheel, the bill hype. Might just pay your bill type, Play Dead Live for real type. He's the fireman. Duh. He's the fireman.
All right, there we go. You know what? I'm taking you guys back, way, way back. You know, I don't want to spoil anything, Ray, but before there were dance videos, that's what we did. And so I know you guys probably like, hey, I did that. Well, look, I'll just drop some lyrics for you guys. No sweat. So that was about 2 years ago and had a lot. Now, this particular story is absolutely one of my favorite. Because, look, we rolled out the first test of you guys going down, getting muddy. This one, I really put some effort into this. Believe it or not, I know the graphics are a little cheesy, but this was one of my favorite ones, and you'll see why. So I basically just started you guys out in the desert. And you're going to see a couple graphics here where you guys remember this? Do you remember it now? You guys were walking through, and all of a sudden, sandstorm out of nowhere. You know, it's just like the rain and the mud. You guys were walking along, and all of a sudden you end up in mud. You're taking a casual stroll in the desert, and then all of a sudden, there's a sandstorm. And then you found a walkie-talkie as if someone were trying to communicate. And up out of nowhere, you got a buried hand there. So it's time to hit the road a little bit, get further on down, and you came upon a little bit of an oasis type of area that had this old abandoned slide. And this was probably set up one of the greatest moments. Now, it's a little gruesome now that I look back on it. I'm not a big fan of this next one, but just bear with me. But who remembers the slingshot and the dove? You guys remember the slingshot and the dove? Because, yep, that's what was used in order to fend off the enemies. These were your weapons back then. Now you got Fuse, Epic 5000, Maxine, Epic AP 2000. Well, back then, you were shooting doves with slingshots. But you guys did manage to get away, only to trigger a trap. Now, it would have been bad enough if it was just a trap. But do you guys remember what was inside that trap? Who remembers? And who fell in the trap? Julia says zombies were in the trap. That's a good guess. But that would not be correct. In fact, when you fell in the trap, oh no, not these guys. Now you remember? The first snake encounter of many in Play Dead Live. But you got back on the path. Now it's starting to look familiar. And then you kind of made it through the little path here, and then it was beautiful. It's like all this little greenery around you. You got to the entrance, and this was a little creepy because once you got to the entrance, it was like this old abandoned bar. And one thing I remember about this is it had, like, out of the blue, It had an aquarium, like a very, very big aquarium. So big that when you guys broke the aquarium, there were zombies in that aquarium. But what was really bizarre about this story is there was this person that might have been responsible for all of this. You guys remember this guy? DJ Ocean Man. That's right. The original villain in Play Dead Live. Right after the aquarium burst. Now, we didn't know if he was a villain or not. He was just somebody that was always in the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, we didn't see him do it. But, you know, he was there. And he kind of hit the road. Now, the group followed him. At the end of this week, I remember you guys tracked him to the ocean. And you ended up here. You tracked him down to the ocean, and there was this slight little waterway between here and the cave. Now, what was bizarre about this is, well, after you ended up on the shore, you were completely surrounded by these guys. And you really had no choice but to get over to the other side. And I remember, specifically, you guys were trying to swim over there, and it was a struggle because there were zombies in the water. But after kicking, screaming, getting through there, probably my favorite scene of all time was probably this. I actually love this view. And at this point, I'm thinking, like, Play Dead Live is going to be a lot of fun, right? This was like the third week, and I'm getting ready to take you guys down a cave that you just fought some zombies, and you don't know what's down the cave. And this is where Play Dead Live, to me, got a little bit creative, and I knew it was going to be bigger than what we ever expected. Because you know you got zombies over there, so you got no choice but to go down the cave. And you guys lit a torch. Smart. It's good thinking. And you went a little further down, and you guys remember these guys? Oh, yeah. How high did those bats lift Gemstone off the ground when they all got stuck in her hair? You guys remember that? She was like flying. Literally, you guys were grabbing her by the feet trying to pull her back down to earth because they were going to fly away with her. Man, this guy still haunts my dreams. I remember this was the first time that I was streaming that I got a little creeped out. But you guys managed to beat them down. and get back on the right track. Until this jumped down out of nowhere. Oh no, this one still creeps me out too. And then this guy. So now we go from bats to spiders. But you did manage to get to the center of the cave. Took you a while. You had to fight it off. And lo and behold, this dude is blocking the entrance and blows up the exit. And yes, it was DJ Ocean yet again. Blocking the group. And the last thing you guys saw at the end of the week was this. Yeah. Now, that was a couple pretty good chapters. Now, from that point on, they got more detailed, a lot more interactive, because I think with the cave, we still had some people that were new to RPGs, and they were, a few people would make a decision, right? They were scared to speak up, or they're like, I'll do this, I'll do this. But the next chapter, I'm going to tell you, everybody got involved. I mean, it was probably, to this day, the most participation we've had in one of the early ons. But before I show you that next chapter, and it is one of my favorite, I'm going to fast forward to the first ever. Now, this was after we rolled out the asylum. So I'm going to take you, we're going to bounce around with time a little bit. And in fact, this is the first semi-dance video we ever did. And it took us 2 months. It wasn't in the asylum. It wasn't in Crowley's Farms. It was actually at the end of Crowley's Farm going into Crypts and Catacomb. It's a very short clip, but it is the first semi-dance video we ever did. And you'll probably remember it. That was March 20th. March 20th. First time we used video to start to change the story, because we had used stills all the way through in all the early streams and all the way through the asylum. And then we got to Crowley's Farm. And the first time we actually used small video clips was the hands that were cut off in Crowley's Farms in the finale, where the blood was dripping down as you guys were going inside the castle. So before that, we had not used video. All right, so let me take you back to the early days yet again. And this is just titled The River. Now, the river had some of the best memories in the early going. Now, you guys remember a pretty big one, but there were a lot of little things that happened on this small little river adventure. This was the third Play Dead Live playtest that we did. Started out innocent enough. There were just some rafts. And you guys said, hey, we're going to get on these rafts. And, well, not too long into the adventure, it got a little bumpy, right? And by bumpy, you guys got stuck on a rock. And then when you get stuck on a rock, well, Julia and her paddle. We know that Hippo was not very happy. As a matter of fact, I think the group said, hey, hippos belong in water. But, yeah, that did not end up very well because, well, there were piranhas in the water. So you guys in 3 weeks had already gotten stuck in the mud, had to deal with zombies in a hallway. Then you went to the desert and you had to deal with snakes and flooded walkers. And then you had to go in a cave. So I'm sorry, this was the 4th week. The cave was the 3rd week. And then you got to deal with piranhas. And you got to deal with people with paddles. But this was probably the longest story that we did on a Friday night. This was very, very extensive. Because after you guys got away from the bloody water, you guys remember being up on this shore? Nice little scenery, wildlife. Seemed like you had a little bit of breathing room. I mean, what could go wrong until Mama Coyote shows up? Now, this group had no weapons. You just had yourself. So there weren't a whole lot of things that you could actually do. Except leave. And you did. Now, luckily, coyotes cannot cross suspension bridges. But apparently, Batmat could not as well. As I remember it, I think it was Batmat that sacrificed himself somehow to buy some time for some other people to get across. Now, there was no resin restore back then. There was no healing salve. He just kind of died. But as you got to the other side, there was this big mine shaft elevator. So, and remember, early days, it wasn't explore a room or go up a hill. It was, you start at a river, you get all the way down the river, we literally crossed states in one night in the early days. Like, we were halfway across the country. But you guys made it to the top of this, and it was really cool because the next 3 or 4 things, probably some of the best story we've had. There was hope and heartache and redemption. You guys remember what was at the top of this? This. So as you got to the top, out of the ground, were these zombies. A lot of zombies in the early days. Because it was early in the apocalypse, right? But you did have the mine cart. So as the zombies were coming out, the group made a conscious effort to jump in the back of this mine cart and try to get away to safety. And that was fine. Until the mine cart was getting ready to go over the edge and you guys had to bail out right before you went over the edge. Now, this view here was a little terrifying. This is where Play Dead Live actually got me to kind of, all right, we've already seen one person fall off a suspension bridge. Now we got to walk across this thing before these zombies catch up to us. And every step, oh man, it's like one wrong move could certainly spell the end. But the nice thing is, you're way up here. So nothing can really get to you because, well, unless the bridge breaks. So you got to feel at least fairly safe if you know how to walk, right? Because there's probably no walkers up here. There's nothing can get you. Nothing's going to make you move faster unless, well, yeah. Unless the game master sticks a mountain lion up there. Now, yeah, I did. I did do that. Because I really wanted the group to move a little faster. And you did move faster. But this is coming after you. Now look, if I'm going to put a mountain lion in the middle of nowhere, I thought the least I could do is at least give you a shot to hang glide over to the other side. See what I do for you guys? There was a way out. And luckily, you guys were able to hang glide over to the other side. And that's a nice view too, right? And you know what's super cool when you got to the other side? Somebody was already barbecuing. There was already a campfire working. And it was kind of cool because I remember distinctly you guys saw, it was a little bit of food and some glasses of wine. And I think I remember a couple people were getting ready to chug the wine until they realized that it smelled like kerosene. And out of the corner of your eye, someone was escaping. And the whole area went kaboom. But out of the smoke and out of the dark, do you guys remember? There was a figure that had already blown up his group twice, but one man stood above them all and came out of the smoke and came out of the flames. That's right. Oh, yeah. It was the redemption of Fireman Finney. And that kind of recharted our course a little bit. Now, I'm going to take you guys back to our first semi-experiment with PvP. We actually did 12 chapters, and believe it or not, we had 3 different PvP scenarios in the first 12 playtest. But the PvP scenarios were semi-PvE. They were PvE/PvP. We got a mix of it. So I'm going to take you guys to the first one in just a minute. But before I do that, I'm going to throw another dance mix up there for you. You guys might remember this one. This might actually be the first official dance competition. This was probably right before Jigsaw's Jungle. And I think it's a little semi-classical, if you guys remember this.
Yeah, that's right. It's Friday night. And the Purple Cube's got everybody feeling all right. So grab your weapons. Get down for a fight. Because Brace is in the house, trying to darken the light.
I hope the group works together and you'll benefit together.
Closed in on us, but we made it, and we got out, and we joined the rest of the group.
Weeks of Crimson Catacombs.
Let's go.
The best Play Dead Live 3-part chapter we've ever done.
And the spikes were upon us, and we pulled together as a group, and we got out. And if it was not for the heroism of Father Ron saving the group, we would not have made it. The messenger of the Lord. A little more dancing, everybody. Let's do it. Oh yeah, we brought it back old school for you guys. So some of our first dance mixes, but let's take you guys back to pre-Asylum. And this was likely right around this time 2 years ago. If I had to guess, I'd say this was probably about the week that we rolled this out. It was probably around October when we rolled out our first shot at semi PvP. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this is not Dirty Diana. No, 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 no. This is the streets. And then again, it started raining pretty hard. You guys have had to deal with some weather. In fact, started flooding quite a bit. And when it floods and you got no buildings you can go into, well, there's a little bit of steam. Like the wallflowers, right? Subway steam, like silhouettes in dreams. You stood by me just like Moonbeam. So, you get a little bit of steam, and then out of the steam, there's always going to be zombies. Always. If there's rain, there's steam. In an apocalypse, there's always going to be zombies. So, of course, you got to look for the first place you can go, which is a flooding manhole. The group wasted no time looking for the flooding manhole. And you guys managed to get it. Those things are heavy. But as a group, you managed to get it, and a couple people fell. But for the most part, you're able to get down here. This was the start of the sewers. So we knew that this was going to turn into something, but we didn't know what the path to get there was going to be like. And the water is just kind of constantly coming down. And then we got a little further. No electrocution. But we got to this really cool area right here. Now, from what I remember, there was a little bit of deception going on here where the group needed to make a run for it. And I think we had some people that were willing to sacrifice some of our group so they could get further ahead. And by sacrifice, yeah, you guys remember this little guy, right? So now we've had spiders, snakes, coyotes, mountain lions. This is the first interaction we really had with a gator. But not only the gators. Yeah. This tunnel was full of rats. So it was like a 2-for-1. But you managed to, for the most part, this was the first time that we actually had some people trying to betray other people in the group. It's a good test. But you guys got through it. Got further down the tunnel. Popped open his chest. And look, there were items in there. There was like one of the first items we rolled out in the game was you guys remember the candy cane? Who remembers the candy cane? How could you forget that? Became a holiday item. And then you guys went a little further down, and we had some cans of soup. And people were like, hey, we need food. That wasn't really what the cans of soup were for, now was it? Because we also had a little door down here. Now, I remember the group was like, oh my gosh, who's going to open that door? Who's going to open the door? They were so paranoid about opening the door. Right? And, wait, there's a boombox in there? So yeah, there was a boombox in there. There were some baseballs in there. There was a Fear of the 999 Army shirt. So you had soup, you had shirt, you had a boombox, you got baseballs, you had a cane, had some brooms. Ultimately, what this was turning into was a PvP showdown. So these items were all gathered up, and they were taken to this right here, and this was the first ever Play Dead Live PvP event that we did. And we had people putting soup cans in shirts, putting baseballs in shirts, and just whacking each other. I'm going to hit you with the cane. I'm going to hit you with the broom. I'm going to throw a baseball at you. I mean, putting a can of soup in a shirt and hitting somebody with it is pretty powerful weapon. And then we found something pretty cool. Now look, this didn't last, but it did last for a couple of months because you guys found that's right. Yep, Will and Tommy. You guys found a clock mask, and it was the introduction of Rolex, the timekeeper. It's where we started keeping up, or the concept of keeping up with how long it would take to get moves in. Because we knew at some point we were going to add PvP, but this was kind of our first test at it. And then you guys managed to escape. Now, I'm going to show you guys another dance video, and I'm going to tell you, when I bring you back here, it is likely, other than the one we're doing right now, Crucible's Crematorium, the next chapter is likely the best chapter we have ever done in Play Dead Live, either before we rolled it out or after. You guys are probably like, wait a minute, Kills. What chapter could that be that was so good? Well, don't go anywhere. Let's watch a quick dance video, and then I'll show you, and I guarantee you, you'll remember it as one of the best ever. Enjoy this video.
Best looks on, we all in the right. Her the mood is all set and it's just right. So told the driver the moon now. Type of party, got the music getting louder. The sky's darker, the crowd's wilder. Everybody getting wild now. Out by the pool now, dancing with the moon now. Jumping in the pool now. It's the party of the year and things are getting rowdy. We're throwing caution to the wind because we came to party. Cause we're vibing and we grooving and we jumping. Type of party, got the neighbors moving, music bumping. It's the party of the year and things are getting rowdy. We're throwing caution to the wind because we came to party. Cause we're vibing and we grooving and we jumping. Type of party, got the neighbors moving, music bumping. It's the party of the year, party of the year, party of the year. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the party of the year, yeah. It's the party of the year, yeah. It's the party of the year. It's the party of the year, yeah. It's the party of the year, yeah. Stopping, jumping. Yeah, we jumping. Now we jumping. Yeah, we jumping. Music bumping. Music bumping. Music bumping, bump.
All right, certainly Party of the Year was something we all had a lot of fun with, one of our favorite dance videos of all time. And don't forget, I just showed you guys a sneak peek. Oh, yeah. You guys remember the Zed slice, right? That battle. Zed is dead, finally. You guys took him out. But Zed was one of my favorite. He was creepy. Right on that Crimson Cove scenario. Midsummer, first year we rolled out PDL. And here's another one of my favorites real quick. This one isn't too long, but you guys will probably remember this from early days as well. Remember this intro. Oh, man, how could you guys forget Ozzy? Oh, yeah. Ozzy out of nowhere. We had a lot of fun with that one as well. Now, I did promise you guys to take you back into the early days, but I do want to shift really quick because I know in about March, we did talk about how we play tested PvP, but I want to remind you guys of the early days of solo PvP. Now, I know that's a few months ahead, and it's after we rolled out the Asylum and also Crypts and Catacombs, but let me take you guys back to the early days of PvP and what that looked like and what it looks like now with Faction Wars and the Clash and Battle Royale. It was so much different back in solo PvP. These were the types of battles that we had back then. How about Fight Night? Who remembers the Fight Night posters? Fight Night 2 main event, B-Dub 1-0 versus Father Ron. Fireman Finney 0-1 versus Tommy the Tank. Deadly Dimes 0-1 with a pretty epic battle lined up against Moonshot. Trigger versus Ocean Man and Tin Man versus Julia. And look at the undercard there, all the other ones we had. And then look at that. Then we had B-Dub 2-0 versus Bones. Dimes versus Fireman Finney. Moonshot versus Tank. Julia was 2-0 versus Father Ron. Trigger and Ocean Man. And then B-Dub. That match actually broke someone forever. That match, B-Dub, was this scenario, and it went till about 3 o'clock in the morning. Yep, we all remember. But this might be one of my favorite. Moonshot was taking that 1-0 record. Deadly Dimes was 0-1. And this was back when range was important. Until you get travel vouchered, and yep, this was the travel voucher match. But I remember Ocean Man throwing down a little challenge to the Rocket. You guys remember Will's hype videos? Well, Will put this one together for Ocean Man and Rocket's battle. Listen up. I mean, that's what we call a little bit of hype there. Now, buckle up, everybody. Who wants to see the first Play Dead Live bundle we ever put in PvP? We're bringing back the memories here. This, everybody, is going to make you feel so nostalgic. Like, whoa! You mean we have gear, grenades, and a whole bunch of stuff in these bundles now? Here is the first ever Play Dead Live bundle. This hurts. All right. The green bundle contains energy elixir and heal smoke. The yellow bundle, control smoke. Not sure what that is. And storm smoke. And then you got Seal and Rage 3, Grady's Finest, and Hot Smoke. All right, let's kick it over to another hype video we'll put together for B-Dub. Remember this one. right, and let's not forget, back in the day, Bomber Bones was not just Bomber Bones. In fact, she was mowing through people in solo. You guys might have forgot, Amy was a semi-finalist in the first ever solo tournament, and as she was getting the wins, Will was taking note and putting together videos. Here is Bomber Bones. Step off or get stepped on. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm going to take you guys through a little bit of the first ever solo tournament. All right, so we kicked off the tournament. Now remember, back then it was a 5-game season. So if you forgot what your record was going into the tournament, let me remind you. All right? Valar was 6-0. I kid you not. It's why we called her Game Over. Because she was wrecking people. B-Dub 5-0. Kel 3-1. You can see the first matchup down there. We got Bones and Will 2-2 and 2-3. On the other side of the bracket, we had Julia that stepped in for Tommy. Playing Trigger. Father Ron up against Gemstone. And here's the way it played out. Kel pulled off the victory versus Valar. Kel went to 4-1. And this was before we had factions. So Kel with B-Dub, 5-0 versus 4-1. Moonshot versus Bones, 3-2, 3-2. On the other side, we had Dimes versus Trigger. And we had that Gemstone match. After Jim went through Ron, she advanced. And then we got to our Final Four. And our Final Four, B-Dub at 6-0. Bones at 4-2. Everybody thought it was going to be Dimes and B-Dub. Gemstone pulled off yet another upset to make it to the finals. Now, in the process of a few short weeks, we learned how to do the bundles the right way. So here, everybody, is a It's still different. Here, everybody, is a championship bundle like only Play Dead Live can do it. This was our first ever championship bundle. Look at that. It is jam-packed, baby. We've got, in that green bundle, we got Goldars. Look at that beautiful Hawk. Grady's finest. Look at that yellow. The yellow is still pretty good. Homing pigeon, owl, titanium, seal smoke. I would still buy that today. I like that yellow bundle. And then the red, that's where people are like, let me get my hands on some of that AP. Look at that AP3, baby. A little bit of revive, some bless. And then you got a red diamond. You've got a purple diamond. And up top, I bet you some people would love to have those fireflies now. That is a championship bundle. That's how we do it. All right. Look at this. You know what? I got to tell you, the graphics weren't bad in PvP. I mean, this is pretty good. B-Dub versus, and yeah, and look how I did. I did it cute. I got like yellow and red and yellow. Mix it up a little bit. And when it was all said and done, we know B-Dub took the first championship, but we did manage to, look at this. Now this was what we put together at the end. Because the one thing we remembered is how everybody played hard and enjoyed the battle and how we were growing. We loved it so much that we thought, why not make a tag team?
For centuries, battles have been fought. But tonight feels a little bit different, with the first ever Play Dead Live Tag Team Championship. Mist the Ninja, with stealth and agility, trying to make a name for herself and her partner, the Football Master. His career was cut short by injuries, but tonight he can redeem himself against a medic who's not always out to heal, but sometimes to kill. Her partner, Moonshot, a sniper with lethal accuracy, has recently added more damage. The Killer Bees are looking to sting their opponent as Fireman Finney comes back from a disappointing solo tournament to partner with Ocean Man, who's recently been studying. Which team will come out on top? Tune in tonight to find out.
I don't know about you guys, but that narrator, that guy should be broadcasting or streaming on YouTube or something, because that guy has got a voice that is, it's literally like silk. Whoever was the voiceover in that last video that dude is something. All right, real quick, get you guys into, how about the stats we put together? Most selfies, Father Ron. Most sunken boats, Chuck. Most Will Sickles, Will. Most upside down grapples, Bones. Most grenades absorbed, Tank. Most played pet back then was Fido. Most used potion in Rage 3. Most PvE deaths, Ocean Man, for sure. And look at the Outlaws. You know what? I know you missed the stats, But when the portal is out, you will get your stats, Ron, for sure. And look at this matchup. This was the tag team tournament. We had, as we saw the video, Football and Mist playing Kel and Moonshot. On the other side of the bracket, we had Tank and Dimes, Jim and the Mod, Fly Rod and Tin Man, and here is one of the this is one of the battle scenes that we had. I want to go back and see if oh boy. Hey, Ron, I skipped over it, but I had to bring it back. Do you guys remember this epic battle between Father Ron and B-Dub? This was a good one. So yeah, I thought I had that loaded somewhere. All right. Let me get you guys one more dance song, and I'm going to take you back old school. I'll be right back.
Yo, come on. Come close. I got something to show you.
All right, and as promised, I am going to take you guys back to what I think is one of the best early days or even current PvE scenarios that we've ever done. I'm going to take you guys back to a dark desert highway. Cool wind in my hair. Warm smell of calitas rising up through the air. But it wasn't like that. In fact, I think the car started running out of gas. And then I think something flew through the window. Boom. And after something came flying through the window, there were certainly zombies to the left. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to the 999 Army. How about the 999 Army pulling together and locking up that busy birthday box for the birthday girl? Oh, yeah. Big shout out to all of you guys. And again, happy birthday to the bee. Now, do you guys remember what you were doing while those zombies were coming in the woods from the left side? Who remembers? Because what I think Will and a few people were doing when these zombies got really close, well, they were looking for the knife in the back seat. That's important. But as they got closer, well, a couple of you guys said, let's open the glove compartment. And you packing a little bit of heat there. But you know what? There's always a couple geniuses who said, I don't know, raise your hand if you were one of those people who said, let's just jump in the car and turn the key and drive away. But I made sure the key broke because, well, that wouldn't be fun. So now you got a broken key. So you really got one choice. And that choice was to run. So that's what the group did. Zombies from the left, so you guys ran to the right. Smart. I mean, what could go wrong if there's a wooded area full of zombies and you guys run into the woods? But not only did you run in the woods, you guys said, we're going to go further in the woods. Now, this is where it really started getting good. I do think this was one of my favorite to put together. Because this was a little quicksandish. And I remember this guy coming right up out of it. But as always, the group finds a way, and you did have a gun. But once you got away from him, bear with me for a second. Yeah, you had to deal with the bear. Now, if I remember correctly, this might be the chapter that J-Law had no clothes on. I don't know why. I don't know why she took her clothes off and ran through the woods. I guess she was bare, naked. So it's kind of like bare, naked ladies. But after you guys took care of the bear, you went further into the dark woods. Now, there's one thing that I know. When there's bears in these wooded areas, there's almost always a bear trap. Now, who was it that lost their leg? One of you guys lost your leg. I can't remember. Honestly, I remember a lot about these stories in the early days, but I can't remember who it was. I don't remember. It was Amy. A lot of stuff happened to Amy early on. All right, but once you got away from the bear trap, yeah, this, I put this in there first of all because it was very creepy to me. Anytime you're in a wooded area in the dark and there's just like all these spider webs, well, it's just a matter of time before something like that shows up. Now, I'm not 100%, but I think you guys burnt the spider webs. I think you burnt the spider webs, and then you had to get away from the fire. Because there was a lot of them. So it wasn't just like a few spiders. But at least when you got back on the path, well, you found shelter and comfort. I mean, it's not every day when you're strolling through the woods that you find an inviting cabin in the woods. And certainly, you guys wasted no time busting in. And then you found this trap door. Now, you could have left the trap door alone, but as I recall, you heard something. So, yeah, you popped open the trap door. And you had to go down. And when you got down to the bottom, it was the most shocking discovery ever in the history of Play Dead Live. Just when you thought it was going to come out and snatch you up, George and Gladys have been kept in the basement. George and Gladys. I remember you guys talking to George and Gladys. They were nice enough. And they told you that their son locked them in the basement. And apparently, their son has his own residence in the backyard. And you guys were not real happy that he kept them locked up. I remember. So you guys do what you do. You stormed out there. To this little shed. And inside the shed, it certainly was the one, the only, that's right, good old Grady. Now, Grady's pretty vicious. And the way I remember it, true story, I don't remember who it was. Sheila, was it you that got split in two pieces? Like sliced in half? Grady went straight up on the roof and came down and split a person into two halves. I don't remember exactly, but it might have been Sheila. True story, and I'm not going to look, to each their own. I actually had a person message me and tell me they were quitting Play Dead Live because the image of Sheila being split into two pieces was too much. True story. But that person watched The Walking Dead every week. I'm just saying. Without fail. So The Walking Dead was not too gruesome, but me saying Grady jumped down with an axe and split a person into two pieces was too gruesome. Whatever. All right. Anyway, after we pieced everybody back together, Grady went in the greenhouse. Y'all had to follow, didn't you? Remember what was in that greenhouse? I know Will said he's back and forth. Will, do you remember what's in the greenhouse? Because Will was doing some research. I remember it like it was yesterday. And it was 2 years ago. Well, Will, you'll remember because you'll probably remember the text message you sent me about it. How about hogweed? Will was like, hogweed does this, 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 and this. And manchineel. Hogweed and manchineel. The death apple. And hogweed does cause blindness, and that is the last thing that you guys saw before you passed out. That was absolutely one of my favorite chapters with Grady. Just the zombie feel, the running in the woods, the things that you had to deal with, kind of the cabin in the woods type of vibe. A little bit of comic relief with the parents locked up downstairs, and then the vicious and ferociousness of Grady. I knew I wanted Grady to be a factor in the game. And of course, we come to find out that Grady's greenhouse, you actually did, Ron. You did in Crowley's farm. And then Grady came back in Circus of Dread. And then again, you saw Grady in Steamlands. So you guys have seen Grady in Crowley's Farm, Circus of Dread, and Steamlands. Well, he's got res and restore potions. So, I mean, Grady is the godfather of resurrection. Before Grady's farm, before Grady's greenhouse, there were no res and restores. All right, we're going to jump over to another dance video, and then I'm going to bring you back for one of the craziest PvP battles we ever had when we did a little bit of King of the Hill. We'll come back to that in a second. Enjoy this dance mix.
I know you like all the ways I can move. Came to dance, but all I can see is you. You have got the fire in your eyes. Oh boy, there's no worries here. We can make some noise. Back and forth, this way, can you feel the force? Tell me how you like to live your life. Baby, let's just dance, dance. Let's just dance, baby. I just wanna dance, 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 dance. Can you feel it? Can you take it? Can you come and breathe it? All of this electricity. Do it right now, right now. Turn the volume up loud. Give me your electricity. I don't really care. Take me there. Can you feel it? Can you take it? Baby, it's so electric. So come and play with me. We'll dream, 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 dream. We'll celebrate, we'll make a scene, 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 scene. So raise a glass and come to me, me, me. Baby, can you make my body right? Oh, with my hair around, I can let it go. We can do a thing, take it nice and slow. Baby, take it over, make it hot, hot, hot. Baby, let's just dance, dance. Let's just dance, baby. I just wanna dance, 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 dance. Can you feel it? Can you take it? Can you come and brace it? All this electricity. Do it right now, right now. Turn the volume up loud. Give me your electricity. I don't really care. Take me there. Can you feel it? Can you take it? Baby, it's so electric. So come and play with me. More and more. It's feeling so right, right, right. So baby, tonight, night, just give it to me. Stereo, stereo, go. Boom, boom, stereo, stereo, go. La la la. Boom, boom, stereo, stereo, go. Boom, boom, stereo, stereo, go. La la la. Baby, let's just dance, dance. Let's just dance, baby. I just wanna dance, 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 dance. Can you feel it? Can you take it? Can you come and breathe it? All this electricity. Do it right now, right now. Turn the volume up loud. Give me your electricity. I don't really care. Take me there. Can you feel it? Can you take it? Baby, it's so electric. So come and play with me. Can you feel it?
All right. Of course, we got to finish it up with the one, the only Buzz. So, we did this little PvP challenge called King of the Hill. And we took 7 players and we put them by this building. And the idea was, based on rank, everybody got a level. So if you were on the higher level, you had a little better chance, but you had to work your way up. So it was certainly a PvP challenge. So you know what we did? We actually, we put a whole bunch of weapons in dumpsters. And when they opened the dumpsters, the weapons varied. This was just going to be a test to see how we do PvP in the future. And there was a crossbow, and there was some sand, and there were some marbles, and, just a few other things that were mixed in there. So we started out floor 1. And what I wanted like one of those old school kung fu games, where you you beat level 1 and you go up and you go to level 2 and then you just, constantly go up and up and up and up. So I don't remember all the battles with this. So I don't know who all was there. I know kick 'em in the spinach was like my main memory from this. I think Ron might have thrown some sand in somebody's eyes. So there were some different moves on each floor. But these were the different floors. So somebody would come up and then, you jump out. It was very primitive in our PvP, so certainly it was a lot different. But this floor, I don't remember who it was, but somebody did like a matrix move and was able to dodge. And if you guys were in this, just chime in if you remember being part of the PvP as you went up level by level. This is the one I feel like, Ron, you threw some sand in somebody's face on this one. I'm not sure if that was you that got the sand, but somebody did. And it was on this level. Like I said, I just remember bits and pieces of it because it was just a one-night deal. All right, and this is the kick 'em in the spinach. And I feel like this might have been Tommy and Anyway, whoever got to the top lost. And then this was the grand prize. So this was the first time that we actually got to the top level. And then we know it's top of this building. There's a room set up. There's a silhouette. And boom! It's Grady, right? It was Tommy and Brenda Cox. And she kicked him in the spinach. And Brenda was able to get, to this day, I think she still has it, Grady's axe. And the first ever healing salve. And it was the first ever res and restore. That's what Grady was working on. So that was our first PvP. All right. I'm going to give you guys another one of my favorite scenes. This is a promo from Crimson Cove. And then we're going to go into a little bit of Tag Team Season 2, but see if you remember this promo.
Garde
Yeah, that was a good one. All right. We got a little bit left, so probably about 15 more minutes. I got a few more dance videos. So let me jump into another dance video. Now I'm going to remind you guys a little bit of the really cool memories of Tag Team Season 2. And that was all of the early day stuff that we have in here. And then we went to Faction Wars, the Asylum, a few other things. So we do have a few more dance videos, so hang out for a little bit. We'll do a little bit of Q&A. Who likes a little bit of Graves of Craven dance? Here's the grave dance, everybody. Enjoy this one.
This is the night, I know the time is right to let you do us know. Whoa, I'm so low. This old school game, it just might be the way to make you be my man. Yeah, like can't you see it? You and me could be happy. So won't you spin the bottle, spin it right around, but aim it towards me now. Yeah, why don't you come and spin the bottle? Push it 1 degree, so it will point at me. 'Cause I just want to be your supermodel, be a supermodel, be a supermodel, I just want to be your supermodel, be a supermodel, be a supermodel, So spin the bottle. The night goes on and you won't play along, but you electrify my heart like I could die. Truth or dare, don't make you even care. Why don't you play the games? You're making me insane. You and me could be happy. So won't you spin the bottle, spin it right around, but aim it towards me now. Yeah, why don't you come and spin the bottle? Push it 1 degree, so it will point at me. 'Cause I just want to be your supermodel, be a supermodel, be a supermodel, I just want to be your supermodel, be a supermodel, be a supermodel, So spin the bottle. Ooh, I see you with a beautiful girl in the corner of the kitchen. No, but do you wanna be with her? Spin the bottle, spin the bottle, spin the bottle, spin. So won't you spin the bottle, spin it right around, but aim it towards me now. Yeah, why don't you come and spin the bottle? Push it 1 degree, so it will point at me. 'Cause I just want to be your supermodel, be a supermodel, be a supermodel, I just want to be your supermodel, be a supermodel, be a supermodel, So won't you come and spin the bottle, spin it right around, but aim it towards me now. Yeah, why don't you come and spin the bottle? Push it 1 degree, so it will point at me. 'Cause I just want to be your supermodel, be a supermodel, be a supermodel, I just want to be your supermodel, be a supermodel, be a supermodel, So spin the bottle.
So I don't think that there is a video that I have ever seen that encompasses more the hard work and dedication of that video. That particular video, and I know we'll get into some tag team and a couple other things as we bring out the Will Sickle, the birth of the Will Sickle. But that Spin the Bottle video shows, Will and his Sly Fox, and you got Busy Bee, and you got Ron with the Vox and the 999. If you guys ever doubt like the effort, the energy that our groups, our factions, and everybody puts in, look, from character record sheets to calls and meetings to planning to strategy to having fun to the events to Clash to all the things that we're going to do, that certainly underlines the effort. We go all the way back to the hype videos. And that's part of it. I really want to kind of ramp back up a little bit because our biggest memories are those types of events when somebody throws a grenade, or there's a moment or a memory, whether it's from Faction Wars or whether it's from Clash. Really, really incredible stuff. I see Gemstone jumping in. Had to pop in and say hello. Been a long day. 75-mile bike ride. Absolutely. And the playback is going to be absolutely amazing. So, Jim, good to see you. We're having a blast tonight. So hopefully you get a chance to watch this. And I got a couple more dance videos that are really good. So I do want to announce that we are putting together our latest dance video. I hope that Will rented the Fox outfit. Will, if you bought that, you're a better man than me. So hopefully it was a rental. But we've got 2 weeks. The clock is ticking. We are going to do some prizes and some giveaways. And we want to get everybody that wants to get involved in it, do a little silly dance clip, get it to us, and I promise I will mix it, and it will be a big, big part of Play Dead Live history in a year, 2 years, when we go back and watch this video or we watch some of the other Halloween contests that we do. It's just absolutely, he bought it. Oh, no. Oh, man. It's permanent. Well, hopefully, dust it off, Will, and get us an updated dance video, because we want to see, just get together, have a lot of fun, and yeah, I mean, we got Max Awards coming up on November 1st, so who's going to get this dance challenge will probably be who gets the Max Award for Best Dancer. So if you want that award, it's out there for you. Get in the game. You got 2 weeks to put it together. I heard Daryl Craven said he might put together one, so there you go. Have a lot of fun with it. All right, so I'm going to, I have to do this. I'm kind of like, like a drunk old parent that gets very sentimental when they hear a certain song, I guess. So I cannot do a history of Play Dead Live, even the early days, without putting my favorite video of all time, which is the Saul Boys video. There's no doubt in my mind that I have a top 3. The Jim story was up there. But anytime I think about Play Dead Live and I think about the transition from the burning bay and how happy you guys were to get away from the bay and get over to that island, and the group was so happy, but then there was just a dark side to that island that just constantly came out with the Saul Boys. And so I felt all of that raw emotion because you guys were at the campfire and celebrating and having a good time. And behind the scenes, there was just a very depressing element. And this is my favorite, so I just wanted it to be included in this video. So here it is. This is the Saul Boys. Enjoy.
Learning the art of holding your tongue. The end of a season, end of a run. Not everyone can be the star. We're holding and folding this round of cards. And oh how the rain pours in. And oh how the trees they bend. And oh when the air gets thin, the feeling starts again. The feeling starts again. The feeling starts again. was in. And oh, oh how the trees they bend. And oh, oh when the air gets thin, a feeling starts again. A feeling starts again. The feeling starts again. The feeling starts again.
Whew, I got to tell you, there's just some things that jump out to me every time I watch that. And I know when I was putting it together, one of the things that I intentionally did with you guys is I didn't want you guys to know the whole story. So, because I thought it would have changed the way you guys went about it. So, three things, maybe four, that really stand out is one, the beginning of the video, you can see the abusive father going down the stairs. So you just kind of get this feeling like, okay, he's going down there just to beat them again. And then shortly after that, they're running through the woods with their lantern, and they're doing what kids do. They're trying to create the best normal they can. So they got an abusive dad, and they're growing up, and you guys don't know that when you go there. So when you guys fight them, when you had Buzz trying to attack you and Rip trying to attack you, you're like, okay, well, these guys need to die. But you don't know kind of the dark and sad, unfortunate history to them. And then you see, Rip starting to put on makeup and then becoming kind of that clown. And then you've got Jiggy, and Buzz starts playing around with knives. Jiggy putting on the mask and and putting the paste over his face. So just a real cool thing. And at the very end, you can see kind of the father yelling again, and then the mask goes on, and it's really, really, I don't know. A year later, I can watch that, I still get goosebumps from that story, and then knowing kind of how it's played out. So cool stuff. Let's get into season 2 of Tag Team. Remember, we did solo, and Tag Team season 1 was so good. We went right to it, and this, everybody, is the home of the Will Sickle. It was that goalpost right there, and we got into something a little bit different this season. Check this out. We actually purchased software to keep up with standings and stats. So first time we actually used this, you can see all the different teams. Twisted Sisters were 6-0, Manic Mayhem, Hellfire and Brimstone, the Outlaws, Soul Sisters, Smiling Moons, Knox Landing, Masters of Faith, Mystical Storm, Ten Rod, Killer Bees, Dark Lords of the Six, Chuck and the Animal, Heart and Soul, and yeah, we kept up with it. Pretty cool. And finally, there we go. All right. A little better, everybody. Bundles progressed. So we finally had a silver bundle, and then we had gold, red, blue, and then the bonus bundle where in the beginning, the ways you guys got gear were you had to get lucky in box openings. So this is where we started putting the gear in the bundle so you could start to really gear yourself and go out and battle. So here you go. Look at some of these items back then. Red Bull, PvP Gem, Frost. There's Sue. Mustard Bombs. There's Gus. Elysium still going strong. Flame Grenade still good. Homer. And there it is. These are, this is the tournament. I don't know what it is about Kel liking to lose to Bonnie every time she's in a tournament. But yep, there's Kel yet again. It was the Smiling Moons against the Twisted Sisters. The Twisted Sisters got the win. And we had the Masters of Faith pulling off the upset versus the Outlaws. And look at that. That was July 13th. And on the other side, Lost Soul Sisters beat the Killer Bees. Hellfire and Brimstone took down the Lost Soul Sisters. And then Twisted Sisters won the championship. All right, I got a couple more dance videos, and then we're going to do a little bit of Q&A, and then we'll talk about the history of Play Dead Live. Not that one. In fact, I've got 3 more dance videos for you guys. So let's do 2 of them. We'll do a little Q&A, and then we'll close it out with another one. And I'll let you guys ask me what's on the horizon and what year number 3 is going to look like. So this is a little cosmic dance. I think this is, a lot of people, this is their favorite.
Been a cold winter, I'ma switch it for the summer. I ain't packing but still, suckers run for cover. I'm in the sunshine, cause I know I got mine. Pimping is a short thing, buried in my bloodline. I do it all the time, all around the way I put it down. Coming straight from the underground, what you want now? I do it for the masses, I never blow my chances. My style is classic, static, you want the heat, I got it. The flow is so breezy, I make the shit look easy. If you really listen, my politics is music. I get busy on the beat, cause I be the MC. When I kick, I never cease, till I drop another hit. It's my choice, I can keep the beat alive with my voice. It's like an instrument alive, come see me live. I can swear that I'm live before the break of down, everything is going down. So how you like me now? Told you I'm the man. You wanna die me now? You can kiss my ass. So get ready when I'm speeding. I walk steady. My rap's heavy, that's the reason you can't blame me. They said to hell with me, but I prepare really. They get stuck to me. My rap is mad. They say you don't wanna F with me. I'm always fresh with it. On the best weekly, you ain't stressing. I take it from my OG, been there and done that. Respected in the streets everywhere. I don't rap, try that thing that get you high, make your mouth dry. Better feel up your glass, relax, sit back, get it like dance, get that special now, hack that sound. Great, that's right, I know, that's why I prescribe it for you all. I just do it for fun. Coming from the bottom, moving straight to the top. Coming with the put up for the #1 spot. Pushing my rap like a pusher on the block. Holding my ground, sucker papas get lost. Coming from the bottom, moving straight to the top. Coming with the put up for the #1 spot. Pushing my rap like a pusher on the block. Holding my ground, sucker papas get lost. Coming from the bottom, moving straight to the top. Coming with the put up for the #1 spot. Pushing my rap like a pusher on the block. Holding my ground, sucker papas get lost. Coming from the bottom, moving straight to the top. Coming with the put up for the #1 spot. Pushing my rap like a pusher on the block. Holding my ground, sucker papas get lost. It's been a cold winter, I'ma switch it for the summer. I ain't packing but still, suckers run for cover. I'm in the sunshine, cause I know I got mine. Pimping is a short thing, buried
Wow, that one, there's so much contained in that, and again, the work and the things that you guys put in. As I said, we got a couple more that we'll do in closing. Certainly the asylum, but I want to open it up for a little bit of Q&A because this is early days, where we started, where we're going. We didn't do battle royale. We got battle royale. It's going to come out next week. We want to give everybody. We knew we were going to be missing some people. They'd only get part of this. They wouldn't be really able to enjoy the whole battle royale. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to let you guys. I know you guys have been watching some of this. What are you most surprised by? Most impressed by? What would you like to see? And let me see what you guys think Play Dead Live will be in the next couple years, because I'm going to give you kind of my thoughts, my overview, how we close out this year, how next year, the story, how the portal rolls into that. Certainly things are going to be a lot more automated. It is going to be certainly going to be another step that where, look, we started with, I showed you guys these bundles, small items, and I used to cut and paste Excel spreadsheets, send them out to you guys. And now you're going to get to a point where these items are uploaded for you, and you log into a website and do all your upgrades, all your weapons. You're going to have access to your factions, to your banks. You're going to have access to Twine stories. I think awards and events are going to become a lot more important because you're going to be able to display those. So you're going to have an account management page where we'll create for example, Best Answer Award. You'll get that in form of a card, and then you're going to be able to take that trophy card and click on it, and it'll display in the background. So, for example, Will could have those trophies, and then we'd get like his own avatar. So, yeah, that's true. First inventories were posted. That's right. Posted on the stream. Yep. I mean, just the scenes and the graphics. I mean, the graphics are like night and day. The story is a lot more. I think the story is what's important. There's this thread that goes through all the needles, and that's the story. So the story advances, but sometimes the thread breaks and you got to rethread it. And I'll give you an example of that, like Passage of the Gods. During Passage of the Gods, there was Dunes of the Dead. So it was kind of like a subquest. During Sarah City, there was a battle versus Mammon. And you're going to get these kind of subquests that go on. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things that, let me put so it's just not a blank screen, so hold on. One of the things that is going to be absolutely beneficial when inventory is less of a task, the way I see this year closing out, first of all, October, November, December, incredible stories. You will certainly be engaged and involved every single week. Over the next month, we've got the Cove Faction Wars, and then we got a tournament, and then we've got, at the end of November, we've got a battle chess competition. And then in December, we're going to be starting out a brand new faction wars called the Bay. The Bay does follow suit, so it will be faction wars, but there are a few new wrinkles of how you can score points. So our PvP in December is going to be faction wars. Battle Royales are going to be every week. Clash has taken a whole new meaning. Clashers play every Saturday. We got a really, really loyal group that likes to jump in, have a good time with that. So we're going to still have our Clash events, our Clash championships. Boss battles and castle raids are going to be the two things that I need those back in the worst possible way. I love them. I want those events to take place, but they can't happen until we get the portal up and we start keeping up with the stats, and inventory is much, much easier to manage. So I anticipate December is going to be a pretty busy month. We'll close out the year. We'll have brand new faction wars. We'll have Clash in full effect. We'll have boss battles where they could happen anytime, any place. And our castle raids are going to be better than ever because we're going to start to add XP to some of these events. So if that way somebody misses a Friday night, we're going to add XP. Now, when we get to January, I'm going to be working with the group to start to work on the Burn Arcade. And once the portal's up, the Burn Arcade is going to be something where you guys can log in 24/7 and go in and have competitions and play games against other people. So you'll still do your Play Dead Live, but you may want to get in and play an old school video game and beat somebody's high score. So we want to get into rankings and record keeping and coordinating more contests, more challenges, more events. So that's the way I see the future of Play Dead Live. I see some of the comments. Absolutely, Diana. And you know what? From our fans that watch to our players that play to our, like Valar says, our box buyers, bundle lovers, people that contribute to the game, our Patreons, they fund the game and they fund the growth of the game. So we know we have some people that every time new pets come out, they're going to buy it. Every time gear comes out, they're going to play. And then we have some players that are going to jump in when they can. And then we have some players that are going to be the spokespeople and they're going to play. And they're going to be involved in it. They're going to do everything they can and they're in good factions. And they'll pick up a piece of gear here, a piece of gear there. And their factions are going to make sure that they're engaged and involved. And that's the big thing. All of those things have to work together. If they all work together, the sky's the limit as far as how we can continue to grow and then what we can invest in the game. I didn't really go in specifics, but you guys know it was a pretty good investment to create the portal. It's not complete, but when it is, it's going to be something that we all really took part in funding that. And that's going to be something that hopefully you guys can enjoy, sign up, be a part of that, and we just keep adding more and more and more to it. I've got a lot more that we can offer. I think when you guys see Battle Royale, you're going to see just a awesome type of PvP, and then we're going to make Battle Royale better and better and better. So the first time we try it, look, it's going to be if you guys remember the last clashes we did, I mean, look at the graphics on these clashes. And then when we start layering rooms like this into the portal. So right now, you guys see this, and you got to log into screen in order to see this. But these graphics, when we're able to upload this, and you can go in to your online website and go to a room like this and click on a sword or a gun or an inventory feature, this is how the game's going to advance, where you're going to have your own rooms. And we teased this a while back, right? I mean, look at what we were able to do with, and you guys will see this again on November 1st. The Wall of Fame. I mean, we're going to be able to incorporate this Wall of Fame into the portal. So instead of just joining a live stream and seeing, okay, who won this, who won that, you're going to be able to go in and say, okay, Jack of all trades. Let's see, that was this person. First Jack of all trades, Ron B. Dub Dow. So all of these awards that are up there, it really gives you something to fight for. and to view 24/7. All right, I've got 2 more videos, so do me a favor. We're going to watch one of them, get your dance on. While you're getting up dancing, think of some questions that you want me to answer for you guys, because I've got one more break at the end of this, and then I've got 2 videos total. So we're going to play one. I'll do a little bit more Q&A, and then we're going to close it out with one last one. So everybody, enjoy one of the last 2 dance videos. Yeah, you guys remember this one. This was the last competition we did. So I want to see some big Halloween competitions so we can replace this.
We're about to have a beautiful time. Positive vibes, let's go. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Even worse, I'm sick and tired of barely getting by. You wanna know the truth, keep this between us. Yeah, I got a job, but I'm only making peanuts. My bank account is so my pocket's kinda thin. I ain't DJ Khaled every now and then I win, But tonight I'm about to be undefeated. Just got off of work and I could barely believe it. Call the weed man, cause he know just what I'm needing. 5 o'clock traffic jam, I'm trying to beat it. Didn't quite happen, no bumper to bumper. Road rage people leaning heavy on they hunkers. I'm just trying to make it home, this day has been bunkers. I usually get drunk, but tonight I'm getting drunker. Called my friends and I explained the whole story, and this is what they told me. Ought to throw a party tonight. Hey. It's been a really long day for me. I should be living my life. Hey. Because time won't wait for me. Ought to throw a party tonight. Hey. Me and my friends will get wasted. And I'll be happy that I made it. Yeah, to the end of the day, that's right. So I guess I throw a party tonight. Hey, party, 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 let's all get wasted. Hey, party, 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 let's all get wasted. My homie Jack Daniels, he like to hold me down. My homie Remy Martin, like to see me clown. My homie Mr. Seagrams, know how to get it in. Always bring the juice, he always bring the gin. Johnny Walker Black, Johnny Walker Red, they both make me do some things that I might regret. Life gets hard, sometimes you got to hold on. What I do? Take another Jaeger bomb. It's a party, people dancing like they lost it. Hold on, man, who brought this Mr. Boston's? They know they wrong, they should've left it at the doormat, right beside the bottles of McCormick. The day's long, but the nights are too short. I gotta stay on point like a knife and 2 forks. Negativity's dead, I'm better in my head. And it all started cause I said that I ought to throw a party tonight. Hey. It's been a really long day for me. I should be living my life. Hey. Cause time won't wait for me. I ought to throw a party tonight. Hey. Me and my friends will get wasted. And I'll be happy that I made it. Yeah, to the end of the day, that's right. So I guess I throw a party tonight. Hey. Party, 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 let's all get wasted. Hey. Party, 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 let's all get wasted. It don't really matter the day of the week. You can always party with me and all my friends. We all pitching. And ain't no telling when the party will stop. Try not to wake up with a hangover. And if you do, just lay in bed until the pain's over. People leave inebriated when they came sober. I keep it player till the game's over. I'm talking swimming pool parties, costume parties, disco parties, birthday parties, even back to school on the first day parties, random just in or the work day parties, all white parties, all night parties, toga dinner masquerade, all tight parties, just to see if everything is alright parties, throwing for the folks who say on light parties, Super Bowl parties, graduation parties, just got a promotion, congratulations party, old school parties, new school parties, gather around a computer, a YouTube party, you only live once, so what you waiting on? That's why you ought to throw a party tonight. Hey, it's been a really long day for you. You should be living your life. Hey, because time won't wait for you. You ought to throw a party tonight. Hey, you and your friends will get wasted, and you'll be happy that you made it. Yeah, to the end of the day, that's right. So I guess we'll throw a party tonight. Hey, party, 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 let's all get wasted. Hey, party, 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 let's all get wasted. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party, it's a party. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party, it's a party. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party, it's a party. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party, 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 party. Let's all get wasted.
All right, everybody, we are back, and like I said, I'm going to open it up one more time just for a few questions, things, ideas, suggestions, wants, needs. Play Dead Live becomes such a big part of our life. I mean, we're going to be kicking off year number 3 officially in January. I mean, how many people can say that? When we rolled out Play Dead Live, I challenged you guys and said, could we become, and maybe you guys can help me, could we become the longest streaming RPG, real-time live RPG on YouTube? Think about that for a minute. That could be our legacy, is how long we can do these events. So Ron says, what do you think the group's biggest triumph in our PvE adventures and our biggest failure are? I think the biggest triumph is defeating Mammon. That was one of the tougher battles. And you guys were able to out-trick Mammon. There was going to be a lot of pain in that. And I think the biggest failure was the color walls was up there, but also in Crossfire Cliffs, when the robotic cats kept multiplying and the group wiped. That was a little head scratching for me, because you guys saw them growing and they just kept taking over. And that was one of the group wipes. So I can think of probably maybe 4 or 5 times since you guys have been playing where the group did something. The walls were up there, but that little ledge area, and I think Cosmic Caverns was pretty good. You guys did well versus some of the retro games where the engineers sort of did their thing. With Frogger. And then you got some old school Bowser. I think the puzzles in the Asylum, Return to the Asylum, I think you guys did really well. You guys remember like the Don Quixote scenes and the Ghostbuster scenes? You guys did excellent with those puzzles. That was probably one of the better ones that you guys had. The first escape room, and that was in Circus of Dread. I think there were some challenges with the escape room. So, it's 50-50. Sometimes you guys knock it out of the park, and then sometimes I'm thinking like, well, this is easy, and you put a timer on anything and suddenly it becomes less easy. And then some of my favorite events, how did you guys like the holiday Die Hard event we did last year, climbing up the building? I thought that was a lot of fun. I thought Return to the Asylum, when you guys had the outer body experience, and then you had to like, the one event we did where you had to name your favorite movies. The movie trivia I thought was really good. I know Angel, the Angel and Fly Rod tribute was really good. And, and that's the thing with Play Dead Live. There's so many things that we can do that we could just change the narrative, right? Like I have a story laid out for you guys for the next 6 months. But I can always push that story back a week or two if there's something that happens or that we need to make a change. Like, for example, Sarah City was not originally called Sarah City. That was a suggestion. So, I wanted some ideas to be a permanent part of what we do. Now, the storyline was pretty similar, but how we got there was a little bit different. So I've got an idea of where I want to take you guys in the next 6 months, but there will be some interruptions and some distractions, of course. Let me get a few more questions. Yeah, Tammy, that's the thing. Is like we've done burn trivia. Like there's some things that we can incorporate into it. Obviously, last night was one of those, right? Where we're getting close to Halloween, and we really haven't done trivia like that before. So it was kind of a neat way to do it, and it mixes it up a little bit. And if you can put that into the story, where hey, you're stuck in this room, and you think that you're going to fight through a lot of grenades tonight, and out of the blue, the person who's keeping you in the room says, I'm going to let you out if you can answer this set of questions. It gives you kind of some of that 80s retro gaming where you had to solve puzzles. So I love getting some of that into what we do. Yep, the first campfire event. And this is why it's also really, really important that we do the check-in and the on time. Because if I know who's going to be there, sometimes I'll have like a template of a story that could go to a person, and I just kind of plug them into that storyline. So, that gives you all a chance to be a permanent part of what we're doing. There's different times that different people are going to be the hero, and sometimes people are going to be the zero. But that's the beauty of Play Dead Live. Like, you really get to put your footprint on everything that we do. And with the sound, with the graphics, certainly, and I think Julia mentioned this before, one of the things that's very, very important for me is to tell you guys a story through video. And a lot of that is based on time. So the portal is going to open up so many possibilities. It's going to give me a chance to really get back into a little bit more of the storytelling, although we're still doing it. The Crucible video I put together today has a lot of story in it. You got to dig down, and you'll see some things have happened in that, and you'll see some things in the future. It'll make sense. But it also, we get back to, like I said, castle raids, boss battles. Those are two things that we got to get back at, especially if we're going to roll out Battle Royale. But at least Battle Royale is not like every week. It's going to be a once a month type of thing. And the next one, next Saturday, is going to be, Saturday night's going to be the first ever Battle Royale. And then after that, we're going to try to do them in the morning. Yeah. The in-game die rolls, obviously something that I wanted to do too, is being able to incorporate that. Yeah. Some of the sounds I love. Love the sounds. I mean, there's an example. It's very subtle, but gives you a very horror vibe to it. Um, and really quickly, hopefully you guys had a chance to check out. So, what are your thoughts with the inventory and the character record sheets? Hopefully, you guys had a chance to review that. I love it. It is it's the first time that I've seen something from the portal that I thought it's perfect. It's us. If I could give you guys an analogy, think about, here's the difference. Think about an 8-track tape to streaming music and downloading your own music. That's the difference between the portal and the way we're doing it now. And I know the way we're doing it now, you guys are probably like, well, look, we used to put our inventory up on the screen and you had to screenshot it. Then we started cutting, pasting, sending it out to you. Then I purchased a software system that I can put in text and send it to all of you guys. But here's the way we still do it. And I love you guys for doing this. You guys purchase the items. I send you a list of what you have. You say, Kills, I want to add this gem to this glyph to this, and I want to add these skins to this. Then you send that back to me. Then I take what you have and I type a bunch of words and upgrade it, and then I send it back to you. And with this portal, you're going to be able to log in, see your item, and click on that gem and drag it over to an item, and it's done. Don't have to send me a list of things to do. The only time we'll be involved in it is adding it to it initially and correcting any mistakes that might happen. I'm sure there'll be some. I'm sure, be like, hey, Kills, this item did not upgrade properly, and we'll get the bugs worked out. But, all those upgrades, all those messages, gone. I never had an 8-track tape, although my parents did. I mean, I had some cassette tapes. Now, am I the only person? And maybe you guys did this. You guys might have used tape. Did anybody else put little spitballs in the back of cassette tapes so you could record over them? I would take paper and make spitballs and put them in the little holes in cassette tapes, and if something came over the radio, I would record it off the radio. That's the way That's the way I captured all my songs from the radio. Cool stuff. Exactly. Oh, no doubt. And when somebody would be like, yeah, it'd be like, that's exactly right, Julie J. So it'd be like this one song, like Atlantic Star or Rockwell or Loverboy, or One in a Million Girl, something, right? And then the DJ would not shut up. It'd be like, oh man, here comes my song. And it'd be like, okay, well now coming right up, and we're gonna play this, and this song has made it all the way up to number 2, and then it starts immediately. It's like, I don't want to hear that every time. So you'd always try to wait. You'd have like the record button, and you'd have the record button and the pause button, right? And then as soon as he'd stop talking, you hit the pause button real quick so it'd start recording. Yeah, it was actually 3, wasn't it? It was the record button, the play button, and the pause button. Because you'd have to hit the record and the play both. Or you know what the worst was? The worst is when, was there ever like a top 5 song, you wanted to record it, and you knew it was going to be number 1, right? So you got a little bored waiting and waiting and waiting for Casey's countdown or whoever. So you go out and do something else, and you come back, you're getting ready to record it, and it had dropped to like number 3 or something. And you're like, oh shit. It's like, now I got to wait till next week. That song should have been number 1. So yeah, you misplayed it. Your estimation was wrong. Oh my God, I hated that. It's like, I'd be so pissed off at myself because then I had to wait like a whole week. And you're calling, like, you'd always get one of those. You ever get one of those like power hungry local DJs? It's busy, busy, busy. They never answer the phone. Finally, they get through, and you're like, hey, can you play this song? Yeah, we played it about 2 hours ago, but yeah, we'll try to get it in for you. And then you're just sitting there like, come on, dude, play it. And then he won't even play the song. Hated that. All right, yeah, they could answer the phone. It was just busy. They just took it off the hook. Yes, no redial back then. Oh, that was terrible. Or you had one of those push button phones that would always stick, like the number 3. You push it down, and the little corner of the square would get stuck, and you're like, crap. Now I got to it'd be like a contest, and you're like, beep, 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 and it gets stuck. Like, and then you hit it 3 times, and you got to like wedge it out, and then trying to do it again. Or you, it's funny. Yeah, it's like, well, the thing with those cassettes, how we'll see like who the most anal people are. How many of you guys actually would take the cassette thing out that had the little lines and you filled out like every single song on the cassette tape? You know what I'm talking about? It would have like, if you flipped it over on the back of it, it would have like 10 lines. And you put like number 1, and then you write the name of the song. Number 2, you write the name of the song. It like had to be perfectly written. And the worst thing in the world is when you ever remember like when your heart would fall in your stomach, like you're playing and all of a sudden you hear something like speaking in tongues, like, you're listening to it. Like Dr. Hook, right? When you're in love with a beautiful, and they're like, oh shit, it just flipped over. And then you stop it and pull it out, and it's like all over the place. So you take your pinky finger, and you got the one on the right? There's like 2 little holes in a cassette, and it's got those little teeth, and you put your pinky finger in there, and you're like gradually turning it little by little by little. It's like, I got to get to that spot where it flipped over. That's the worst. That's the worst thing ever. Oh, it's awesome. Awesome. Well, you know what? I'm going to give you guys I'll give you guys another minute. I am off tomorrow, so yeah, I want to do a stream and hang out with you guys tonight. It's been a while since we've just done, a early days history of Play Dead Live. So if you guys got some more questions, type them in for me. I mean, I do want to say this, and I'm always very sincere. I would not be here doing this and challenge you guys every week if you guys were not so loyal to the game. You guys certainly embrace all of the deep storylines to the corny, silly storylines, and from dance videos to epic gear, from dragons to pets that are off the wall pets, Stang, Tang, unbelievable. So all of it is important. It's a forum where we can be silly. It's a forum where we can be serious. I know the work that you guys put in, and again, my goal is to keep Play Dead Live relevant and growing for as long as we possibly can. We are 3 months away from starting our 3rd year. That's mind-blowing to me when I think about it. I read all those chapters. If you guys missed it again, I just want you guys to hear this one more time. Asylum, Crowley's Farm, Crypts and Catacombs, Jigsaw's Jungle, Crimson Cove, Burning Bay, Salisbury Island, Morgue of Mirrors, Crossfire Cliffs, Graves of Craven, Cosmic Caverns, Frigid Fields, Return to the Asylum, Clone's Chamber, Circus of Dread, Steamlands, which incorporated Steamlands, Dark City, Neon, Passage of the Gods, Dunes of the Dead, Stonelands, Sarah City, Biozone, and Crucibles, Crematorium. That's a lot of story. It's a lot of villains. It's a lot of good times, a lot of puzzles. And I think we've got a whole lot more. So as long as you guys will play, I will continue to stream and try to challenge you. Thanks for everything that you guys do. You know, we've got committees. We've got a rules committee. We've got a castle committee. We've got committees that work on games. We got moderators. So there's going to be more things. We got a lot of people volunteer and say, I want to do more. I want to do more. Just be patient, because when the portal comes up, there's going to be a lot more for everybody to do. All right, let's close this thing out with the ladies of PDL, saving the best for you, Trigger. Enjoy, everybody. I had a great time hanging out with you guys, taking us from the early days all the way to where we are today. And we will be back Monday night with a box opening event. There's 16 boxes total. I don't know what's left. There may be 1 or 2 left. Message Kel if you want to get in the door with those. Once we hit 16, they are absolutely gone. So we will do that Monday night. Wednesday night, we got a match. Friday night, we've got Chapter 3 of Crucible's Crematorium. And Saturday night, I want all of you guys here, at least check in for a little bit for Battle Royale. It's a launch for us. It's a big deal. I know a lot of times you guys do family stuff, but just check in. If you can't play for 3 or 4 hours, just pop in and get a couple killing blows, or just see what it's all about. Because anytime we roll something out, we certainly want people to at least check in and hang out with us a little bit. Battle Royale will be next Saturday night. Enjoy, everybody. Have a great night. And here is the ladies of PDL closing us out and bringing us home. See you guys.
She's a flower, you know? Wife material.
Ooh, baby.
Yes, to master.
Sexy lady. Pretty baby.
Tell him.
Prettiest girl that I've ever seen. Like a girl from a magazine. Whoa. You're the girl with a triple crown. You're the talk on the town.
Shout the talk of the town.
Sexiest girl that I've ever seen. Like a girl from a magazine. Whoa. You're the girl with a triple crown. You're the talk on the town.
Girl, you got it going on. Girl, you turn me on. Sexy girl, you got it going on. Woman, you turn me on. Woman, me say me want you beside me, just to be me wifey. Me love you more than Bunty love me spivey. Woman, you love, keep me lively. Nothing can divide me, so tell dirty heart them to avoid me, because
Sexy little figure, you are like summer. Girl, you are take it to them. The fashion where you're in and no self and no pizza. You are bring it to them. You're so fine.
from my head top one shoes where she walk on.
Young one like me play one more time. Yeah.
Real woman, me a talk about, you know.
Love all your body design. Girl, you impress me with your beauty. You're so sexy. Whoa, yeah.
She's so
What's your
beautiful.
number? Can I come over? What's your name,
You listen,
girl?
girl, I feel a pain in my shoulder, so I'm coming over to make you rub me down. Girl, me say me heart a bubble over. Can't wait to see my lover, just to cool